Yo, what is going on? Want to get this pod out. I'm going to go play some basketball in a little bit. We are on episode 11 of the Matt Knows Ball pod. Working our way into the double digits now. You know what I mean? Nothing but improvement from here on out. And I want to start today. I have what normally, you know what I mean, I cover like today we're going to talk about Dillon Gabriel in training camp, and we're going to talk about Matt Stafford's back injury and stuff like that. But I want to start today with a more general topic and just kind of a thought that I was having today. I was watching Colin Cowherd and Nick Wright talk about what the hell were they talking about? Talking about offensive coordinators being pass happy, basically. And here's my thoughts on this. Today I want to do the topic I want to do today is the importance of the run in the NFL. I know that in the analytic era, the you know what I mean, the most pass heavy era that there's ever been, everybody's super highly focused on your EPA per play and your yards per play, and your possessions need to be, every single play needs to have a certain amount of value. But I think that people somewhat underestimate, especially come playoff time, the ability to run the football. And to me, I think when you rely on something that requires a lot of skill every single time, like passing the football, like running a route, when you're in inclement conditions, when you're in a tough spot, when somebody on your team is rattled, when something is askew, something is awry, something isn't what it normally is, I think it's very easy with a scheme that depends on so much skill for that to dry up. And I think that somewhat of an example or an analogy for me is, you ever watch a guy play basketball, like a Paul George, a Cam Thomas, Jordan Clarkson, Lou Williams, one of these guys who throughout their career really relies on tough shots. Jason Tatum somewhat is becoming this, but we're not going deep into this. This is just examples, right? This is a through line in my head, is that their ability to make a tough shot is so insane that that's what they're good at. Paul George is a fantastic bad shot maker, right? And when you rely on being a bad shot maker, when the game gets tight, when shit gets nervous, there's not a whole lot of guys who can continue being a bad shot maker when somebody is truly glued to you. When somebody is putting every last drop of sweat, blood, and tears and effort that they have into getting a stop, it's a whole lot harder to hit that step back midi fade in someone's face, right? And this is a through line in, to me, having something that is just, you can go to it no matter what, right? And being a pure tough shot maker is great. But there's guys like Paul George where you'll have games where you're like, this is one of the greatest offensive performances I've ever seen. This guy will not miss. And then there's games where you're 2 for 17, you hit the side of the backboard, the well has dried up. And I think that a thing of importance in today's NFL is that everybody has gone so heavily into the pass game that the pass game has almost become a little oversaturated. And we've reached a point where running the football is just as important. And I think when you look at these teams that make the playoffs and these teams that win the Super Bowl, running the football is important to them. The Kansas City Chiefs invested in a running back. The Ravens traded for Derrick Henry. The Eagles, they went and got Saquon. The Bills, they went and got James Cook, gave him a big deal, or they're going to hopefully give him a big deal. And immediately the team became significantly better. Because it's not always about your yards per play, your efficiency. They're only the best guys on the planet, right, are going to go out and have a 65% completion percentage in the most stressful moment of a game. And I think that this is honestly one of the better topics that I've covered. And I think that it's the value of being able to say, I have 5 big, strong offensive linemen, and I have a running back who's going to run his ass off, has so much value in today's NFL, where, of course, you want to pass the ball. Even if you lean your team, I'm not saying you have to be a run first team, but I'm saying you have to have the ability. And this is also speaks to the importance of the offensive line, is you have to have the ability, as Marshawn Lynch said, to run through a motherfucker's face. Sometimes that's what you have to do, right? Sometimes it's going to be 1st and 10, and you just need to pick up 4 yards and make it easy on your quarterback, right? You don't have to. I'm not talking about breaking runs, but when you're inside guard and your center, double team that D tackle and throw him on the floor, and then your running back hit sticks that linebacker over the middle. I guess it would be trucking somebody, but whatever. When your running back trucks this linebacker in the B gap and takes it for 4 yards, that shit hurts. And football is one of these sports where it really, really, really matters mentally. And it matters what you can accomplish physically. And when you have a team that does good, that has an elite quarterback and knows how to run the football as well, I think that is unbelievably important in today's game. And I think that is an important thing to try and connect, is that it's a lot easier for the pass game to dry up, especially in today's league where everybody's worried about the pass. Everybody's in nickel, everybody's in dime, everybody's in 4-2-5. There's not a whole lot of stacked boxes with linebackers these days. You're putting safeties in at middle linebacker. You have Kyle Hamilton coming down and playing sub linebacker. You have a lot of guys who, a lot of teams don't, you're not rolling out the 4-3. You're not running out a 4-4. You're not bringing out a 4-6. You're not loading up with linebackers much in today's NFL, right? It's a lot of exotic blitzes. But when you have a team like the Eagles last year who can just put their head down and run through your chest, you have to be worried about that at all times. And the whole point of the advantage of the pass game was that you got tight ends who could beat a linebacker, and you got corners you got a receiver in the slot who would get the advantage over the middle, not over the middle, but he would get an advantage because there's a linebacker in zone or something. You know what I mean? Like, the whole advantage of the pass is it's all skill based, it's all finesse based. And I think that the most important thing, not the most important, but one of the more important things today is the ability to have a go-to. The Eagles last year knew it didn't matter. On 3rd and 6, whenever, it could be 3rd and 8. There is a good chance Saquon Barkley's taking this inside zone, and Jordan Mailata is going to put you on your ass. Lane Johnson's going to throw you on the ground. That offensive line, Jason Kelce was going to throw it, not last year, but Jason Kelce was going to throw you on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, that team, they had a go-to. And when it gets cold outside and it's snowing and your quarterback's hands aren't quite gripping the football as well, and the football's a little slippery, it's hard to hit, it's hard for your receivers to catch it. Now you're popping it up, you're throwing picks. You're throwing picks that aren't your quarterback's fault. Or your receiver's slipping on a route. Your receiver runs a curl flat. When he turns his feet around, he slips down right on his face. And now you're just darting a football right at this guy's head. There's a perfect spiral right at some dude's forehead. And I think that there's such less variance when it comes to the NFL's run game than there is with the pass game. And that's really what I'm trying to explain here is if you're a good team, you want there to be less variance in the game. If I'm the Bills and I'm playing the Titans, I would love to hand the ball off to James Cook 155 times and just win the game without any turnovers, any fumbles, anything. Just have a guy who holds onto the ball and does what he's supposed to do, right? As opposed to, you know what I mean? It's almost like if you were a great NFL team, you'd want to play a 7-game series, not one game. You want less variance. You want to have the best team will win in this situation. That's what you're hoping for, you know? And I think that the passing game, as much as I'm pro passing, I love watching people throw the football. I love watching a receiver run a disgusting route more than anybody. This isn't an old head appeal to the old guys, we need to run the ball take. It's more so the importance of having that in your pocket. That's the importance of what Sean McVay does. Sean McVay has a beautiful pass game, but also Kyron Williams will run you over. And he knows how to scheme up good offensive line schemes to get that guy downhill. I think that that's wildly important because Miami doesn't want to run the football when it's -5. They don't want to. They're soft, right? Miami, Chris Broussard calls them a bunch of break dancers. And when you're a couple years ago, you're Kansas City and you come into Miami and you run a motherfucker's face over all game, that breaks a team. If you're one quarter into the game, there were multiple games last year where the Eagles were one quarter into a football game. Saquon Barkley just broke off a 75-yard run. And the next drive, they just chug it down the whole time. Just 4 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards. And then there's A.J. Brown on a deep ball. And then it's Saquon. And then it's the tush push. And it just beats your team down. And what matters a lot is making sure that you have the ability to beat a team down. It's not everyone's Steph Curry. Not everyone's Kobe Bryant. Not everyone can make that tough shot. Every once in a while, you got to get a layup. Sometimes it's a little bit better to be Shaq than it is to be Paul George. Of course, pretty much all the time, it's better to be Shaq, but you get my point. You know what I mean? Like, he was getting a much higher percentage shots with a lot less variance because it was all based on physicality. It was based on running through someone's face. And physicality, as much as it can lead to injuries, it also is the most reliable thing in football. Your quarterback can get his hand hit while he's throwing the ball and throw a pick, and he's thrown none all season. Justin Herbert threw 3 picks last year. He threw 4 in the playoff game because 2 of them went off his receiver's hands. He got rattled. He shit his pants, right? And you need the ability to go, well, I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm just going to give the ball to this guy, and we're just going to run you over. You know? And it's almost like if I went to the park right now, I'm a big fella. You can tell. You know what I mean? If I went to the park right now, and I played a guy one-on-one, and he's way better than me at basketball, and he's way more skilled than me, but he's 5'10". Unfortunately, at some point in this game, if my jumper's not falling, I'm going to throw you around. And that is what the run game is in football. Is not sometimes you go against a team that has good corners. Sometimes your receivers has the yips. Sometimes your quarterback spiral looks a little funky. And what you need to be able to do is the football equivalent of driving to the lane and bumping somebody off. Just lay me. And that, to me, is the importance of the run game, is having the ability to go to the physicality. You can't go to the physicality every time with a receiver. You can when you have Derrick Henry. When you hand Derrick Henry the football and he takes off running down the field, everybody is shitting their pants because you might have to tackle Derrick Henry. And if you do try to tackle Derrick Henry, there's a chance that you get dribbled on your fucking head. Anyway, that's my TED Talk about the run game. I think that was a great segment, and I really hope that you guys actually liked it because I'm trying here. that was fun. I enjoyed that. I want to do more topics like that where I just give my opinion on how something works, why it works, and what needs to be done to continue the success. And I think in today's NFL, it's important to have a Marshawn Lynch, a guy who's just going to put his head down, and those feet just aren't going to stop. They're just going to keep chopping forever, right? That aside, we can now talk about what you guys have all been waiting for, the Cleveland Browns quarterback room. Dillon Gabriel apparently looked bad in OTAs, training camp, hasn't looked good. Shador apparently has looked pretty good. But here's my take on this, and it's not, don't get me wrong, I'm not here to shit on Dillon Gabriel. I just don't think that he's a career starter. But it's almost, to me, unfair to Dillon Gabriel that he's in the situation that he's in. Because this dude was a third-round pick who was drafted with the intent of most likely being a career backup, being at best a great backup. You know what I mean? Nobody was thinking Dillon Gabriel was the quarterback of the future for the Browns, unless you're an Oregon fan. Shout out Xavier. But Dillon Gabriel was drafted to be what Jimmy G was drafted to be. You know what I mean? To be a guy who's going to come in, be a high character guy. I wasn't picking my nose. My nose is itching. It's right here. So don't be in the comments talking about, he's picking his nose. Dillon Gabriel looked bad. And my take is, that it's unfair to Dillon Gabriel. This isn't Shedeur hate. I'm just saying it sucks. It sucks that because Shedor's on this team and Shedeur got drafted over him, this guy's going to get nothing but compared to Shedeur, who we all thought was better than him. Shedeur Sanders being on that team sucks for Dillon Gabriel because Dillon Gabriel's under scrutiny that he wouldn't be under right now. Nobody's looking at Tyler Shuck's training camp right now, and he was a second-round pick. And he's probably going to be their starter in a year or two. He could be their starter this year for all we know in 6 weeks. But, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of these guys, you come into the league and you're not under a whole lot of pressure. I haven't seen a clip of J.J. McCarthy doing anything in his entire NFL career. When Jordan Love got drafted, I didn't see shit about that guy. Now, maybe that's because those guys, you know what I mean, are expected to be the future of the franchise. But, you know, when you see Dillon Gabriel and he looks like shit, and it's like, well, this is this guy's first time figuring it out, and now he's going against NFL skill, and all these eyes are on him because Shedeur's on the team. And it's not Shedeur's fault. I'm not here to be like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with Shedeur Sanders? Why would he do this? Obviously, it's not his fault. But it does suck. And it seems like the reporting from camp, I can't remember her name, but there's a woman who does the reporting and was there at the Browns training camp and said that it looks like he's lost his confidence. And that really sucks. And I hope that he gets that back because that is terrible. Normally, there's not stories dropping right now, you know what I mean, about other 3rd and 5th round picks training camp. And while we're here, we will talk about the Browns situation. This is fucking weird. Deshaun Watson's on this team, by the way. All of us forgot. Deshaun Watson's here. They have 6 fucking quarterbacks. I don't know what... I mean, I guess if you're the Browns and you can't get a quarterback to be good to save your life, you just draft and pick up 100 of them and hope one of them works. But this team now, you have Deshaun Watson, who's never playing another snap of NFL football, which is insane. We don't even talk about this anymore. We don't talk about how bad that contract was. Nobody does, which is nuts, right? You have Deshaun Watson. You have Kenny Pickett, who is not going to be your future, right? You have Joe Flacco, who is not going to be your future. He might be your now. He might be your 12 games this year. You might be, hey, can you win us 5 football games this year? Yeah, I got you. You have Dillon Gabriel, who nobody thinks is going to be your future. You have Tyler Huntley, who is not going to be your starting quarterback, and Shedeur Sanders. And to me, the Browns have one route of going about this. Either start Shedeur in every game this year. Maybe not every game, but Shedeur needs to start this year because he's your only chance of having a franchise guy. It's not Tyler Huntley. It's not Deshaun Watson. It's not Joe Flacco. It's not Dillon Gabriel. It's Shedeur Sanders. It's definitely not Kenny Pickett's trash ass. It's Shedeur Sanders. That's your organization's chance, right? I feel like I've said right 1,000 times, but the Browns confuse the fucking shit out of me. I don't know how much money Deshaun Watson's making because I was too lazy to look it up and I know that nobody cares. But Deshaun Watson's making a lot of money and he's not playing. That's crazy. They have 6 fucking quarterbacks on this team. Whatever. The NFL banned smelling salts. Who cares? I think George Kittle cares. I think I saw something about him caring. Funny. I don't understand that at all. What is that, a PED? Because I'm going to be like, and just be fucking cracked up for 45 seconds before an NFL game. Like it's going to wake me up and get me fucking fired up. That's really the who. Whatever. Who gives a shit? I think it's kind of stupid. I don't understand why you're banning that. Spend your time somewhere else. What are we even voting on that for? What are smelling salts really doing? When's the last time that you heard of an offensive lineman going up against a D tackle and he was like, let me tell you something. When I went up against Jalen Carter, when I went up against Quinnen Williams, I was at an unfair advantage. I could tell that he was on them smelling salts before the game. You could see it. You could see it in his eyes. He was just cracked out from the smelling salts. That's all I've got. We'll do some more tomorrow. I'm going to go play basketball. Apparently now I have to commute, so I will we'll have another one tomorrow. I think tomorrow instead of doing the importance of the run game we will do who are the surefire Hall of Famers in the NFL right now. So tune in for that tomorrow. I'm going to edit this, get the fuck out of here. And yeah, thanks for watching.